And we should be live. Everybody should be able to see us, no problem. Hopefully everybody's back. I didn't even check. Kathy, John, you back? Ooh, and John's not even on the screen. I should have checked John's
I'm
thing.
in the wrong spot.
You're in the wrong spot. Hold on, let me flip you around, John. You're like way out in the open. Hold on. John got...
Is that the magic noise of, magically moving?
Magically
Oh,
moving.
sure.
Yeah, there we go. Now you're in there, John. You know what? While we're here, let me go ahead and check our
Gonzo?
media. I'm off the screen. Look, John's not even here either. John, where are you at? Right there, you're hidden behind. I'll put you here too. I bet you what it was is when I started fixing everybody. You
know
got
what? You
pushed
got
off.
You do realize you have the media section overlay up.
Yeah, so I could fix the media section while I was here too.
Okay.
What?
What? Two jobs at once? Nah.
That's fine. That's all good.
Guys, welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. We are on episode what, Kathy?
79.
79.
Guess I should have looked at that beforehand.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that like you're
But
like...
last week was 78, so, it just follows.
That usually is how that works. You're correct.
Yeah, usually the numbers go up the more we do.
Yeah, every so often
we
I
gotta start
string numbers
thinking
together.
about what we want to do for our 100th episode, because that is coming up soon. So we got to figure out what we want to do. We got to start planning something. Also, while we're talking about that, we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors and thank them because we are actually going to be having a contest pretty soon. What? Yeah, we are going to have a contest because one of our sponsors has something big they want to give away.
Sweet.
And I mean something really big, like, 75 automobiles. I mean, no, not really.
Like a 1-1 scale Millennium Falcon?
A 1-to-1 scale Millennium Falcon all day. I will let Chris know that he is on board for doing a 1-to-1 scale of Millennium Falcon.
I don't think I could store that. That's not gonna anywhere.
You're ineligible.
Crimson says a contest like on Seinfeld, but since I don't watch Seinfeld, I don't know what that is.
I've only seen like 3 episodes of Seinfeld, and 2 of them were the same one, where the guy has the hidey hole under his desk to sleep in.
Yeah. No, what it is Mechanica Studios has a transport tray that he built for Star Wars Legion.
Oh, yeah, that one's sweet.
Yeah, it is a very sweet tray because it's got parts you take off so you can store everything underneath. He has asked us if we could do a contest. So we're going to brainstorm about what you have to do. And it is something you have to do. It's not just, show up and look pretty like John. You have to do something.
Like John, yeah.
You have to do something like John?
No, you can't just be pretty like John.
Pretty unlike John.
And so we're going to be giving away one of his trays pretty soon. We will do that on our Facebook page. So if you don't have us liked here, like us over there.
Yes, like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitch if you haven't already.
But we want to thank Mechanica Studios for doing that. It makes us really, really happy. Also supplying some other things. He also is our person that sells all of our product also, which is our measurement set, tournament set, and our mat sets for steamrollers. We also want to thank Tectonic Craft Studios. Dan the man!
Hey, Dan?
Dan.
My guys from the my Age of Sigmar campaign just got some of their stuff in,
yet more shameless self-promotion.
It's good. They're really happy. It's better than the stuff they had before, so they might be making some more purchases, which is super cool.
Oh, hey, thanks, John Spencer, for the subscription.
Shameless self-promotion.
Much appreciated, as always.
But Tectonic Craft Studios did give us some things to give away. We'll be giving some of that stuff starting next month. Try to give out one thing a month or one every other month, depending on what he gave us. And then, of course, we want to thank Muse on Minis for providing us with a bunch of stuff and giveaways and just giving things to other people.
It makes it easy for people to find us. People who I work with have been able to find us on there and have been interested. And actually, just in case he listens, a shout out to Danny from the Car Wash Show. We had a good time chatting, and he said he might check us out because he was vaguely interested. So if he does, cheers.
Cheers. If you like anything from Muse on Minis, please go over there. Make sure you use the code MoreThanDice. All one word. You get 10% off your entire order. And it also helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that. Make sure if you really want to get some cool stuff, by the way, all of our Patreon subscribers, all your rewards are sent out. You should be receiving your new dice. Also, send a big thank out to Congo. Congo, hope you like what we sent you. It was something more that we could do since you did a lot of help for us.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
I haven't talked to Congo in a while. I should say hi to Congo.
Yeah, I sent him out a little extra stuff for helping us out at Adepticon.
Sweet.
Being all cool and stuff. We will have our dice set on sale pretty soon too, so you can see that. I think I might do like a Pinterest and Etsy thing just to kind of make it easier for people to can find us, to get things going.
Getting all fancy there.
I'm getting all fancy, you know me. But tradition is tradition. John, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I have the last bit of my sweet apple pie moonshine, and then I am going to follow it up with some Calypso original lemonade. And if I feel the need to drink more alcohol, I have Dr. McGillicuddy's intense apple pie liqueur.
Ooh. Kathy, what you got tonight?
I am drinking a gin and ginger ale. So, Bombay Sapphire gin and Canada Dry ginger ale.
Oh, shit.
Tonight I'm doing another Boulevard chocolate ale. It's ale with chocolate nibs, chocolate, and vanilla extract. It's really, really good. It's really, really sweet. Really,
It's so
really
too
dark.
bad that I didn't have any room in my luggage because I was walking through the Nashville airport and there was a whiskey store, and I'm like, I can't. I don't have any space in my luggage.
I would make space. I would get rid of some underwear, t-shirts, whatever.
No, it's all my good clothes. I can't do that. I need my good clothes.
Do we have to do any salutes to anybody this week that we know of, John?
We
Grumpy.
do. We do.
Who do we got?
Herman Woke. You know, the Kane Mutiny, Winds of War. He was 103 when he died. And I'm mentioning him. I mean, yeah, it's sad to lose anyone, really.
What?
But he had an amazing life, and he's given everybody a lot of literature.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Do that.
And like I said, Grumpy Cat, because Grumpy Cat gave us a lot of memes.
And Grumpy
You know.
Cat did pass away.
And then, of course, Doris Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, we did have Doris Day, too.
And, Sentimental Journey.
Did you guys get, oh crap, last week did you get, what's his name? Almost like I've been in a show all week. My brain's all mushy. From the Carol Burnett Show.
Oh, Tim Conway.
Tim Conway.
Yeah, Tim Conway.
No, we didn't. Yeah, that was this week.
That was this week, yeah,
happened.
Tim Conway.
Tim Conway
That was this
died. Comedic genius.
Oh, yeah.
Carol Burnett Show was good stuff. They would crack themselves up. It's great. You don't see that so much anymore.
Yeah. Tim Conway was pretty funny. I think that's about it.
It's a hell of a week then.
Yeah, it was. Everybody out there, guys, thanks you for watching. Thanks for every single time you click a button and listen to us, whether it's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Muse on Minis, or any other one that redistributes our stuff. We really appreciate it. It's very interesting for me to hear from people I don't even think that listen to our show go, hey, I really liked your episode on this. It was very pertinent, and I think that it was very important that people hear that. And I'm like,
Holy smokes.
shit. Okay, cool. So this one's for y'all. Cheers.
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 Shit, that's
I would
good.
also like to say hello to Via Schmidtbot and Fierboski. Welcome. You missed in the pre-ramble where we were talking about changes to champions, but we don't feel like we need to revisit that now. If you didn't tune into the pre-ramble, you're just out of luck.
Get here half an hour early. Pre-ramble. It's your
Yeah, pre-ramble
Oh.
starts at 6:30 to 7, Central Standard Time, U.S. But welcome. It's good to see you guys here. And what are we talking about today, Gonzo? All
Today?
kinds of things.
Yeah, it's what we call our Hodge Podge episode. We're going to discuss
potpourri.
potpourri, the potpourri.
Are you talking about the potpourri now?
The potpourri.
At least we're not talking about the poop pourri.
The potpourri. Where we've got a bunch of different subjects we need to talk about, and John wanted to catch up on one of them. because we've had, things go on that just need to be touched on. I know we talked about, I did have a few that we were going to discuss directly. And I think John needs to go ahead and head this one up to start off because Kathy and I have already talked about it, but there has been some backlash recently about the GW contrast paints. And
yeah, it's enough that it got through to me on Twitter pretty handily since I don't have Facebook on my phone. It was Twitter while I was at a work thing, and that was it. So let's get into this one. Let's start with for all of you guys who are real painters and hate that these contrast paint that will let everyone get painted models. I have something to say. Go fuck yourself.
You know what? I would like to agree with that 100%.
Yes.
All the actual real painters that I see on any stream love them. Like, this is great. Get people painting models. I want to get them and see what I can do with them.
That's
that is
exactly
the proper attitude.
That's exactly what Jim and I have been saying. We're very excited to get our hands on. I mean, we're not going to go out and get the whole range. We'd like to get a few colors, though, to just experiment with and see what we can do with it.
It's good. It's a long time coming. I have some friends who are not painters, but if they can do one thick coat that they just keep a little eye on to make sure it doesn't pull the wrong way, and then pick out some details and then maybe a wash over it, they're going to be ecstatic. Those are people who would not normally want to play because they want painted models and they don't paint that can play. This is great.
Oh,
is GW pushing the envelope of making painting easy and accessible for everyone, and that should be embraced by everyone.
Yes, 100%, because I even brought it up. I have my Age of Sigmar. I have actually decided to not pay any more of my Age of Sigmar. And one, because it's a pretty hard... I have 120 Dryads. And the paint scheme I chose, I'm like, it's a really cool one. But no.
But 120 models cool?
120 models cool? Yes. But 120 painted models cool? No.
It's tough. Large group armies are tough, and you either got to just knuckle down and suck it up, or... Now in the contrast paint, suddenly you can change your paint scheme a little bit for those models.
Yes, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Even if you just do the ones that you're going to summon. The ones that you're going to summon, though I would honestly suggest you wait for the new book to come out before you go and paint a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit. But even if it's just the ones that you're going to summon, like if you're playing any of those armies that summons a bunch of stuff in the game, you can paint that stuff with contrast paints, then do more work on the other guys, or even just paint them all and then just touch up guys, add more to guys as you go. Yeah. And Frabowski just said that just because I'm a mediocre painter, he's looking forward to it. It could up his skill. I mean, it's going to be great for everyone, though.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to give you more positive feelings about your skill. It's less steps. More people painting more models quickly is great because it means we're going to want to buy more models. Because even people who just want everything painted, if they can get more painted, they'll get more models. That's what they want.
Yes.
If all you want is to get your models out on the table so that they look okay and you can play the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people who play these games are interested in. They're not interested in painting a competition quality army.
No, I mean, imagine, Adepticon.
And that's fine.
Adepticon, you have to have everything painted.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what's going to happen? You're going to see more painted armies. You're going to see more people show up.
Wanting to go to things like that. You're going to have events grow. Exactly. Crimson mentioned that he thinks it's a good idea because now it's promoting another style other than base coat, wash, dry brush. And that style is great, but it's not for every model. Like, base coat, wash, dry brush does not work on Space Marines. Contrast paints work on Space Marines. That's what they demonstrated it on.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're starting to get you the tools so you have the right tools, the right model, even if you want to be, let's get it done quickly. I just want tabletop. I'm not looking to, push my skill. Painting's the secondary part of the hobby, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. I mean, hell, I ranted about that article in White Dwarf where he said you should ask before you use unpainted models. Fuck that guy. And that guy's Jervis Johnson, in case you're wondering. That's not what it's about. It's about making it easier for people to paint and including those people and making it better experience for them. And I think this is going to do that. It's going to get some paints. You can teach people easily how to use them, and then they'll get themselves to the level they want to get to. So.
Yeah, I think if anybody gives anybody shit for using those contrast paints,
You defend.
they go to hell. Because here's the thing. People are going to be putting effort into this stuff. I mean, and especially large amounts of stuff, too. I'm
Painting
looking
models
forward to it.
There is a bit of inherent skill to that, and not everyone has that.
Correct.
And anything that makes the people come in and be able to do it and feel okay about their paint jobs. Because there's a point in every model where I look at it and I'm like, this looks like shit. Why am I still painting this shit?
Yeah.
But I know in my heart, because that's so much experience, it's going to get better, so I keep going. This will help people who don't get through that. Maybe they don't have that confidence yet. Maybe they don't have that experience. This will help them get through it because it'll be like the first code, but like, this looks okay.
Yeah.
That confidence.
I've also seen people, there's videos floating around the interwebs from people who were at Warhammer Fest who had a chance to experiment with the paints and recorded their experiences and everything. And there were some where they're just splashing on this huge, they joke about it being one thick layer, but come on. You don't take the giant brush and just,
slop it
on without any control or care whatsoever. And they're complaining because when you do that, it pools in areas and they're like, oh, there's this pooling here and here and here and this is no good. And I'm like, have at least a little care, you know? I mean, most of us at least have a little bit of control.
Yeah, you
so
can't
you're not.
It's not like dip and flick.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not like the Minwax dip, folks.
Remember, people have come out and defended that as a legitimate technique. I originally wasn't on board with that, and I had a long talk with Dave Taylor, and he's like, "It's still just another technique," and I'm like,
"Yeah, it's
you know what, Dave, you're right."
I've seen some good and I've seen some bad, but just like every other technique out there,
you gotta do it right too. You just can't just slop it on. I mean, unless you're. I'm not going to call a name. An ex-GW guy, I'm not going to call him out because, bless his heart, he's getting models painted. But literally, he'd dip it in a bucket and flick the paint off, and they'd be done.
If it makes you feel better about getting your stuff out on the table, that's really all that matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that, are like, holy crap, how am I going to paint this, 200-person army?
Looking at
the orc players.
Good luck.
Looking at the orc people. Well, now you can. I watched a video also, Kathy, about this guy that painted one of the Poxwalkers, and he was like,
that one.
"Yeah, here's I can't remember the guy's name. Sorry, I'll see if I can find you and post about it."
I don't remember either, but it was a good one.
The green on the top, brown on the bottom, and then the red on the pussy parts, and then did a darker green on some other areas. And he says it took him literally 10 minutes to paint, and it looked good. And I'm like, that's awesome, because I'm not looking forward to painting 120 dryads.
I mean, is it going to win a Golden Demon? Well, of course it's not. But it did look good.
Yeah. It looked
it was good enough to put out on the table and play with it.
But on top of that, the expert painters, the Golden Demon winners, are going to get a hold of it, and they're going to do other crazy shit with it, and then you're just adding to the overall painting ability of everyone.
Yeah.
Every time someone gets a new technique and shares it, that adds to all of it, and it's going to be wonderful.
I don't understand the people who are, and it isn't that they're going to give people shit for using it. It's that they're so aghast at the idea of themselves using it, like they don't need this crutch that might make something interesting. And that's what I'm saying. Then don't use it, but don't just shit on it.
Those are the same guys who are like, dry brushing is terrible. Don't use it then. And if you see someone in the store giving people shit over dry brushing, something like that, step in and defend that person. We gotta. I mean, I'm not gonna get political about this, but in this current world we live in, we gotta stick together and defend each other when people are doing stupid shit like that. Just jump in. You don't you don't attack the person. Just defend, help them. Show solidarity with that person.
Yeah, it's painted.
Yes.
Who cares?
If you're having fun, that's what matters. You want a dry brush to pick out all those details really fast? Go nuts. That's how I start every model.
There's a sticker goes around some of the painting guys that it's a sticker you put on your thing. It just says dry brushing is not a crime. I love it.
Oh, I want that one.
And Crimson brings up a good point. Like if it's it's I think a lot of people don't like it painting because they think it's counterintuitive. If the contrast paints stop people painting yellow straight over black primer, getting frustrated and quitting, that's a win. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that
correct.
is so true, Crimson.
There's so many things that people don't know, and not everyone has I mean, everyone has access to the internet, but not everyone knows someone who can show them in person because it's a way different thing in person. And anything that helps them is good.
I agree that dry brushing is fantastic with hair. Crimson also says, went to a figure painter meeting the other day and someone said that he liked the hair, and I didn't have the heart to tell him that it was a 3-minute wet blend and a dry brush. Because dry brush, that's the perfect technique for hair and fur.
Man, the right dry brush and hair, it just looks great. Very little effort, great look. Not Brushhead Dave is great at dry brushing. That's sort of his thing. He has two techniques that I would call his techniques. They're dry brushing and then coloring metallics. And
I'm still working on that.
I mean, he does metallic and then a wash and then maybe another wash depending on the part and then some details here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we call his blood crushers are all this sort of metallic red, and we call that barnacle red because that's his last name. So it's.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, contrast paint's good, and since we're on a paint thing, these just started getting some widespread Turbo Dork paints. I am looking forward to trying them. They have both colored metallics, so if you don't want to have to do the wash over them necessarily, or you want a base coat's a little better than a wash over, and then just easy peasy again. They've got a lot of potential there, and then they also have color shift paints, which I think are going to look awesome. I cannot wait to try some out.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what you think of them because I haven't had a chance to try them, and
you'll get a chance. They'll be in a care package.
I'll
find something. Don't you worry. I'll get you a color shift and one or two of the regular metallics just so you can try them out and see what they are like. I'll just throw it in when I eventually get my ass and make that care package when life stops,
When life stops.
Yeah. Those care packages. You see me winking.
Yeah. Look, I've got yours downstairs. I just got to pack it up and send it.
Speaking of care packages, I did receive the Parabellum Conquest miniatures that Gonzo sent me, and they're the cavalry ones. And I am so excited to experiment with doing non-metallic metals on armor because I don't get a chance to do that very often.
Yeah, because I think I gave you...
And this is like the rider and the horse armor and everything. So kind of excited for that.
Yeah, you got the mounted hero, and then also a unit of the Spires, like a half unit, because that's what they gave us. The Spire Spearman guys. Which I knew you would want some of those because they're kind of cool looking. John got some cavalry and then a bunch of men-at-arms stuff too. And also Kathy got the future release of one of the new Breachstorm models that has.
Is that the insect guy?
Yeah, that's the middle one that you got.
Okay.
That's the new Breachstorm.
So that's thank you for that care package.
Yeah, you guys might see that on a hobby street coming up here. I gotta get through some buildings here and then maybe onto that though. I got a couple of things I want to try out too, so need more time to hobby streak.
Whenever you do build those out, guys, do a side-by-side comparison of the height of everything. Like put, like a Space Marine, because I didn't put any of those together because I, wanted y'all to have them. I'm kind of curious.
Next to a Age of Sigmar horse guy.
Yeah, or something like that. Because I'm kind of curious how big the men-at-arms with the cavalry or whatever not the cavalry, the crossbowmen and the guys with sword and shields, how they are compared to a Space Marine, because they looked huge. They looked like they were big.
We can take a look.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that.
Primaris somewhere.
Fearboski asks, "Are you guys looking forward to the series finale of Game of Thrones?"
I am.
I haven't yet watched Game of Thrones except for the first 2 episodes, ever.
Only if it stops people from complaining about the last episode.
Oh no, I have a feeling that as soon as it's over, it's going to be super complain.
You know what's funny is, after only having seen the first 2 episodes of the entire series, and then hearing about what happened in that last episode with Daenerys, it actually made complete sense.
Yeah, I know. There's a big thing on the internet, and the best guy I saw explain it was there are different types of writers, and the writers who are writing into the series are plotters. They need the plots to finish up so they can finish the series. Yeah. It's not George R.R. Martin. And then George R.R. Martin's what they call a pantser. He just doesn't see the pants. He just does what the character would do in the situation, whether it's stupid, smart, whatever, what is true to the character in the situations. He's not looking at the end plot. He's sort of building the story. He has a general idea where it's going to end, but he's going to let it organically get there. They need to get it there.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll tell you right now,
it's a totally different style. It's gonna change things.
if George R. R. Martin was still doing everything, we would probably have another 5 more seasons.
Well, apparently he's got the next book written.
Yeah,
So
but
they say.
There's a conspiracy theory out there that he let them make whatever they wanted because they'll be upset and then they'll get his book, but more people buy his book to see the
real ending.
How it should have ended.
Yeah, it should have.
Which, I mean, is either pure conspiracy theory or absolute genius. One of the two.
It probably both.
Or a little bit of both, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a Game of Thrones guy. I'm happy that everyone's enjoying something like that.
I
may
am.
watch it eventually, but Jesus, I have such a backlog of stuff I have to watch. I mean, I've got a couple more episodes of The Expanse. Then I got to watch Stranger Things Season 2, ahead of Season 3.
I still need to see Season 3 of the Santa Clarita Diet.
You mean the last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, last season. And then people at work are talking about Superstore. They say I have to watch Superstore. It's apparently like, a sitcom based around people working at like a Walmart.
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah, they're all watching. The rest of my team is watching that, and I'm just like,
It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
So Fear Bosky says it airs in 30 minutes here in the UK. It's the only reason why I'm awake still, as it's at 1:25 where I am.
That's fair enough. I mean, I
and
would.
he loves Santa Clarita Diet and Superstore.
So
awesome. You're our kind of people.
So much time. I mean, so much media and not enough time.
Yeah.
But in any case, we talked about paint. Look at some paints. Hey, if you have any guys hear about any new paints you want us to take a look at, let us know. I mean, we're happy to throw some ideas at you. I mean, if my local store can get them, or if I can get them online easily, I like Scale 75. I've been pleased with all the paints I got there. As a matter of fact, they have a black metal. It's a very dark metal that I've been digging a lot.
I like the Secret Weapon has what's it called? Nope, not that one.
About that one?
Right in front of me.
Is it that
not
one?
Not that one.
What about that one?
Not that one.
What about that one?
Got it.
Are you sure it's not this one?
Dark Iron. It's called Dark Iron.
Uh-huh.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pleased all these paints are coming in, all these new things. We're in a great position paint-wise, and I cannot wait to see where we go. And why am I the one talking about paint? This seems like
I finally have nonsense. You paint models.
A little bit.
Finally.
Oh.
After that entire year of just assembling them because you had nowhere to paint them yet.
I put paint on a couple of models during that time.
I am very happy to see that you're painting.
Yeah, now it's trying to get everything in, I start on this terrain and I'm like, I want to finish all the terrain before I go on because it's taking up space where it shouldn't. I have sprues over here with the instructions. I want to finish them off so I get the sprues out of here and then get the terrain and my terrain boxes over on the shelf in the other room and then get on to the next thing.
So I find that painting bases and terrain is good warm-up for painting my models, depending on what point in the model I am. If I'm doing freehand or if I'm doing kind of the final glazes or the final highlights to a model, I don't want to start my day with that. Oh. I want to lead up to it. It's like doing scales, on your on the piano before you start playing. It's just you're warming up and doing a little bit of down and dirty on the terrain or the bases is the best way to do that.
Unfortunately, when you only hobby for between a half an hour and 45 minutes a night, you don't really have a warm-up time.
Well,
just yeah. Go.
That is true. If you're not taking a Saturday to spend a few hours painting, but
I haven't done that in a long, long time since.
So Wargaming Lobby says I love Secret Weapon paint heat effects. Oh my gosh, I love the heat paints are some of my favorite paints out there at all. Fearbosky says I need to start branching out from Citadel paints. Well, depending on where you are, some paints are easier to get than other paints. So, but if you can find the Secret Weapon paints, I do highly recommend their Weathering series.
Yes.
And honestly, you don't have to branch out. That's the thing that all these paint companies are trying to do. They're trying to make it easier for you to get everything you need in one. Like, if you really just love GW paints, you can paint entire armies of GW paints. You don't need other paints. That's the good thing. You know, there's very few lines. I guess Turbo Dork being one of the few ones I can think of off the top of my head where you can't paint a whole model like that unless you want really crazy metallic-y models in various colors. They'll be a little weird to get to some of the pouches and stuff, but
They're metal
who am I to
pouches.
judge?
It's metal
But
leather.
there are some things like the only thing I have a whole set of is the secret weapon weathering paints, because I use all of them. I use the dirt ones, I use the rust ones, I use the tire rubber ones, and I don't even use them for those things. Like, I don't use the dirt ones for dirt. Oh, I seldom do. I do sometimes on bases, but they're good for leathers. The rust ones are good for leathers. They're good for brown cloth. They're good for hair. I use them for, so many different things, not just rust.
That's a good thing about all the paints and remember what they're made for. There's usually multiple uses.
Oh yeah.
And Crimson 1919 says, oh, wait, I thought all the real painters all painted with Scale 75 and I had to buy them and all and pay international shipping. I wanted to be a real pro painter, unlike a scrub of my Reaper. So,
I'm sorry. Reaper manufacturer, their Master Series paints are good paints too.
they're good paints. And also, Scale 75 has a store in the U.S. You don't have to pay international anymore.
These are the only Scale 75 paints that I have. One is light green and one is a mid-tone green. That's it. And I never use them. They're on my carousel of paints I never use.
Now you're just being silly, Crimson.
No, watercolor.
Watercolor. Yeah. I mean, if you can paint a miniature in watercolors, more power to you.
Sweet.
I would love to try some more colors. I know they have those translucent paints, and I'd love to get my hands on a few of those colors. I would never get an entire set of anybody's paint.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Unless it's a really good deal.
Just
those
a few
were
colors.
GW ones because of the deal. Because I mean, you work at GW, you buy a mega paint set, and you bring it home, and your wife is happy because she's like, "Oh, more paints to paint with." I'm like, "Yep, here you go."
You know what, Crimson? If you're in Canada, it might be easy for you to get the Pro Acryl, the Creature Caster paints.
Yeah, they're legit too.
Some people call them Pro Acryl. Some people call them Monument paints because of the big M on the, So, but Creature Caster puts this out, and so
they're good paints too.
Pro Acryl, and this is their new set. I actually have a dozen of their colors, and I just started using them a couple days ago in my stream, so people got to see what I thought. I'm like, here's this jade color. I don't know what it's gonna do, but I hope it works with the way that I paint. And
sometimes you just take the chance, right?
Yeah, I had no idea, and I ended up really, really liking it.
That's what I'm gonna do with this Turbo Dork. It's called 3D glasses. It's sort of got a color shift from sort of that greenish 3D. It's basically 3D glasses. The whole frame of them, even though the top's a little before the blue, and not quite red, but it's got a good shift, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. See what it looks like. Might be a Stormcast Eternal looks like that. I'll see what I have primed already.
That sounds like a fun experiment.
Yeah.
Talking about stuff that's like having to get it overseas and everything. One of the things that I wanted to talk about because it started coming up in our community is the cost of stuff coming from overseas now.
Oh my gosh! I actually have an article from ICV2 up right now that is about the tariffs and how they're
going to affect us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hobby world.
It's going to crazy affect the Kickstarters that people are putting out because they have budgeted their money for their Kickstarters in such a way that now these 25% increase in costs for manufacturing them in China and getting them back to the US, that's going to break some people. There's going to be a lot of Kickstarters that are not going to make it.
Correct.
I'll tell you that right now for people who are backing Kickstarters that aren't CMON.
Well,
that's going to break some
Steamon might not make it either. They're not having a good time.
Their distributing issues have started catching up to them.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I don't mean to be cruel, but they made their bed. They got to sleep in it now.
Yeah, it's for everybody knows I'm playing the Song of Ice and Fire game, and I just almost finished Jon Snow, because I'm playing Night Watch. That's been one of the issues that people are like, I really want to play your game. I like the game. Where's my other models that are coming out? I want my. And they're like, we're trying to get them to you, but with them switching over to Asmodee and the tariff stuff, it's going to be taking a while. Stuff we should have had out 2 months ago, we're now getting at the end of this month.
So if they're going to be working with Asmodee, it's going to help a lot because Asmodee's got more pull and more stuff coming, so they can work a deal.
Correct.
That's what I mean. It's all the little guys who are going to get hurt, and
yeah, exactly.
I know that I think Dust was saying that they were having issues or something because they're small.
GW had to delay some stuff.
Yeah. That's just kind of what's going to go on. And it sucks because this is stupid.
Because it's stupid, yes.
We're not going to get political, but this is stupid.
Yeah, this is stupid. It's not going to do what they want. It's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Correct. Sorry, I'm bouncing in and out of screen because I'm trying to get some stuff done.
Yeah, so, I mean, keep in mind, when the stuff gets to your store and it's a little more expensive, sometimes it's just going to be that way.
Yeah, there's going to be a price increase, and the prices aren't going to go down either. It's going to go up and stay that way until everything changes again. So we're going to have to just wait.
Back down then because, I mean, that's sort of how the market fluctuates.
Yep.
So a 25%, up to 25% on imports from China.
Yeah.
The tariffs will affect geek categories, including board, card, miniature, and role-playing games, comics and graphic novels, and toys. All that stuff is going to see a price hike.
Yep.
Yeah. It may not be 25% because it's not guaranteed 25%, and it's not like it's
right. It's up to 25%.
So we'll see probably 5 to 10% increases, which is not terrible, but it's still, on that $20 box, it's another $2 out of your pocket. So we'll have to see how it plays out. It's going to affect us all, but we'll get through it. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it's expect some price hikes. Yeah. And don't blame the companies either. That's the thing. You can't go, it's fucking GW, or, no, guys, that's not causing this. That's
to be fair, don't just eat the price hike without looking at it.
Yeah.
If it's more than 25%, someone's fucking you. Don't let them. If it's 25%, they're still probably fucking you, but, pay what you're willing to pay, but keep in mind what they're doing.
Yeah. Because there's going to be a lot of change into that.
I hope it doesn't hurt too many friendly local gaming stores because, when that happens, when stuff gets tight, people start looking at how can I get it cheaper.
Yep. And like I said, it's really going to hurt more than anything else are the smaller businesses.
Yeah.
People like the, stores that buy stuff directly from overseas or people that provide products for people that are independent, like token sets or whatever, and they have to get them all if things are done overseas. Any of the small people is what's going to really hurt. Those people are going to be the ones going to have a problem, or small businesses, I should say.
I didn't check, but is it everything, or is it just the stuff from China like I thought it was?
It was stuff from China.
Yeah, so
is what it said in this article.
So night models won't be affected, so your Batman's still good, your Infinity's still good, Corvus Belli is in... It'll affect books from those people because I think most people get their books printed in China.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's going to affect because a lot of people have their stuff printed in China. And there was a couple of Kickstarters that had all their product destroyed because China didn't like their product.
The book burning.
Refunds. It's not like they destroy it, the guys are out the money. They actually have to refund them the money.
Correct. But I mean, if I was looking for a product and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to have this book that I've been dying to have, and then all of a sudden they go, oh yeah, well...
I mean, this is what happens when the market becomes reliant on one place that is not...
Local?
I don't want to say local. It's different. It has different social... structure than us. They're different. They have different rules and regulations. They're not a free country, and I hate to say it that bluntly.
Yeah.
And America is, for now, still a free country. So, I mean, they can do shit like that.
Yes.
And it's going to be bad. And I hope it's not too bad. Hopefully those guys are on their feet. Keep an eye on all your Kickstarters that have it. Don't yell at those guys. Like, at this point, I feel the most sorry for Ninja Division. Because they're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, they were already.
They're actually digging through. They're being more communicative. They're doing stuff to get, to pay off their debts so they can get their next stuff from their printers. But any extra money is going to make it harder for them to get out.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they can. I hope they can get it together and succeed with that. I wish them all the best, honestly. But I feel bad for them.
They'll all lose a ton of money. I hope they just don't all lose their livelihood and everything.
Yeah.
Any of their own personal stuff from this going down badly, and I hope they don't. I mean, I know John Kadishi. I worked with him for a bit. He's a good dude. From what I understand, the other guys are good dudes. They just had the absolute worst luck.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't affect some of the books. I mean, there's a lot of books that I've been doing. I did the miniature book that Dave Taylor and his buddy Mel, I think it was. Was it Mel?
Oh, Mel Boss, the terrain tutor.
Yeah, his book. I kickstarted that because, I mean, hey, it's cool. I did double 6 dice. I got some the first time, which are the 12-siders that are 1 to 6.
Oh, yeah.
There's a second Kickstarter. He does everything through China. And, I mean, I'll know exactly how it affects him. And I can tell you guys because he will tell you every single thing he has to go through. He will show you every fee. It was the best Kickstarter experience ever because I could literally go, what did you spend money on it? And I can see it all. The person in China who dealt directly with the companies, who went in and physically handled the product for him, you can see what they paid for that. It's great. I wish more people were that transparent, but not all. So, but yeah, keep an eye on this. This is going to affect us. And as I get more information from anything like Kickstarters or whatever, telling us what they're thinking, I'll share it. It'll be sort of an in-progress thing. Hopefully someone...
And Wargaming Lobby says, as an abroad observer, I get at least $35 for a couple paints or a brush from the U.S. Now that stuff's hurting you guys too. It sucks. Yeah. So really, essentially, now we're going to be paying prices like the rest of the world pays for our stuff.
Except Australia, because Australia gets
they get double fucked every time.
Yep, they do, and it's the worst. Like they almost entirely killed GW in Australia because of fucking them.
Oh, I remember it's been like 15 years ago. I had a Inyadan army, an Eldar Inyadan army, and it was all the Wraith Guards and Wraith Lords and all this other stuff, and I got it for like $100. And it was when they made the boxed army sets. Remember those? Where it was like, here's your Inyadan army. Go for it.
Oh yeah, that's when I got my Dark Angels.
Yeah, and
Jim got me the big giant box of them.
And we had a store going out of sale and closing everything down, and the guy sold it to me for $100. I'm like, cool, I got my entire Inyadan army. I can just go ahead and start playing. And played it for a little bit, started getting out of it, got rid of it, and put it on eBay. And this is back when eBay was first starting out. And he was like, hey, I really want that, but I need it shipped to Australia. And I'm like, okay, let's find out what it costs to ship to Australia. So I found out what it was.
At least $50. At least.
Yeah. He said, I'll pay that, plus I'll pay you 3 times the amount you're asking for right now. I only put it on there for like 100, 150. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, if I were to buy that and have it shipped overseas or buy the cost of it, it would have been 3 times the amount and it would take forever to get to me. And I'm like, okay. And he was, because I was talking to the guy with it, because this is back when, this stuff started just coming out. And he was like, the amount of cost for things that have been shipped overseas was outrageous for GW stuff. I mean, it was insane. 4 times, 5 times the amount of what we paid over here. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll sell those to you.
GW was not the company it is now back then when that was at their worst. They were trying to be the boutique of miniatures, and then they realized that's not a way to survive.
But I mean, I just thought it was interesting because it was a shocker to see how much they pay for that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
But it was it was something that we brought up locally, and a couple of people that I know throughout the industries, they were talking about it, and they were like, "This is going to suck, guys. Just get ready for it."
Yeah.
We may not see very much. We may see some, but if you do, just realize where it came from and why it's like it is. So, Kathy, did you have something you wanted to discuss?
Did I?
I don't know if you did or not.
Well, why don't you tell me?
I thought you said something in our chat earlier. You had something extra.
I don't know. I mean,
let me see.
Not really. I've just been.
Oh, yeah, you did the Cubicle 7 stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
so I've been kind of sort of skimming through their, seeing their sponsored, stuff in my Facebook and things, and they've been working on this Warhammer Fantasy RPG, and I'm a big fan of the old Warhammer Fantasy RPG that was like in the early 90s. I really enjoyed that role-playing game, and of course it was based in the Warhammer Fantasy, battle universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been developing this game in the Age of Sigmar universe, and they announced at Warhammer Fest that finally it has a name, which is what is it?
Was it Loon Curse?
Soulbound.
Oh, that's right.
It's called Soulbound, and I suppose that's kind of a play on the Stormcast and their. I don't know the lore of Age of Sigmar, but there's a lot of.
Well, because recently they took over all of that stuff.
Yeah, go Google the Cubicle 7.
Or just go to cubicle the number 7.co.uk and just start poking around.
Or that. Yeah. So I guess it's going to come out in the spring of 2020. And they're also doing a 40K role-playing game as well. So that sounds like so much fun. I mean, I only have my weekly D&D. I don't have anybody who's, playing or willing to run or has time for even to do a semi-regular RPG that's not just my weekly D&D. So I won't get the joy of playing that, but if somebody else is playing it,
which
let me know, because I think that would kick ass.
Which leads into this next segment, so we're talking about RPG. My RPG, Dawn of the Harbinger, is going to be wrapping up soon. We've probably got 3 or so more episodes to go. We've been on a hiatus because of different conventions. Pepper went on vacation. But we will be wrapping that up. After we wrap up our Dawn of the Harbinger, John and I have talked about this, but I'm actually going to do it. John just hasn't had enough time.
Bold move, Cotton.
Do what?
Bold move, Cotton.
And we've discussed this in length before. One of our new patron reward levels will be me running your RPG campaign. We haven't decided the full pay level and how it wants to be done, but if you are one of those, it'll be you and up to 4 of your friends. I will run your RPG session for you. Full-fledged, if I have to buy a book. It's got to be stuff that's readily and easily available. Don't ask me to go get something that's been buried for 25 years. And it's like you and 4 other people, so for about 5 people. We will stream it or record it, depending on what it is, and if everybody's okay with it. But I will run your D&D campaign or your whatever campaign that is out there, as long as the books are easily available, and we can all do it, no problem. We will be setting it up. I'm going to do 1 for right now. I don't know if I'll do another one. Summer is coming up because, let's see, I have 7 days left in school. But at the end of this month, I will be putting up that patron reward. If you choose that patron reward and we have to wait. We'll wait a month for you to pay. I don't know. It's stupid how Patreon is, but I will definitely. I will not be doing Fatal. I do own Fatal, but we will not be doing Fatal.
Rules, Gonzo. It sounds like rules.
It has to be appropriate.
It will be anything except Fatal.
Yes.
I mean,
Also,
there's a role-playing game about playing maids. Is it like?
I used to own a copy of Big Eyes Smallmouth, but I mean, it's got to be
less appropriate than that.
I will get with whoever has that patron reward level, and we will discuss what they're looking for, because I have a bunch of different systems that work that are easy, stuff that's good for online, for online rollers or whatever. But that'll be something that will be discussed with that person, and we'll do that.
you just wait, Gonzo. My best friend in high school was thrifting, and she found a copy of the Dallas role-playing game.
Oh my God.
This is back in the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, the TV show, role-playing game. And she brought it to so I had, in community college, I had joined a group of role players, just to get to meet people and stuff when I was like 20 or 19. And I was playing games with them, and I invited her to join us, and she brought the Dallas role-playing game, and they all gave her such a hard time. They were total jerks.
All right, Fairbowski, thank you for joining us. We will talk to you later. Yes, there's. I will be trying to get everything done quickly tonight so I can watch the season finale too. Our series finale. But no, that's one of the Patreon rewards I'm going to offer up. I will be running a role-playing game something. I think we're going to be doing it. You can have 2 game sessions a month. And we will work on the day.
That's what I would be thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a chance that Gonzo and I might leapfrog. Like, he does one for people, I do one for people. But it depends on how my time works out. Yeah. Things be crazy right now.
Yeah, John and I have been talking about that as a patron reward for a while. I didn't want to do it until after I was done with my Dawn of the Harbinger series, and we are almost done with that story. But I know John's been busy, but I want to open it up for me, where I run it. I run one, and like I said, I'll get with the person, whoever is on that patron reward, and we will talk about what kind of game they want. Oh, I want a sci-fi one. Ooh, I got a new sci-fi series I think will be really good.
And hopefully
want to try this one.
More.
Yeah. So
cool.
We'll have to look at that. Sorry, just phone just kind of blew up.
Well, I guess since people are checked, we should we roll into the media section early so we can talk about the other news too?
Oh yeah, we're gonna jump a little early into the media section because we have something to discuss, and then I have a few things I do want to review, but then I also have
I have a ton of movies I could theoretically review.
We're gonna have to go fast on those.
No, I'm just gonna review the big movie, and I'm gonna save the rest and do them on other minis and movies.
I do want to talk about a couple of things that I did watch, but only some quick ones. Nothing really great or anything. But I think we need to talk about the big news that happened in media this week, and I kind of agree with some people, and I kind of don't. But the thing of Robert Pattinson being Batman, we all know him as Edward from Twilight. There's been a ton of jokes out there about him being his bat suit's going to be sparkly, or he's going to be whatever and stuff like that. And at first I was like, really, him? Really? Why? What? This isn't a teen heartthrob. That's how I felt
when they said Ben Affleck.
Yeah. And
so that's how everyone felt when they said Michael Keaton.
Correct. And I sat and thought about it.
He killed it. It was awesome.
No, that was George Clooney. George Clooney killed it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Michael Keaton killed it in the good way. George Clooney killed it in the... And
it wasn't even George Clooney's fault, but he took the blame, so...
Yeah, giant pile of poop way.
But there was somebody that posted a picture up. And a little meme or, just a little thing. And it had Michael Keaton as an old man. And all these other people. And then they had Robert as... from Batman and Beyond. Is that what the one is? Is it the Batman Beyond cartoon series? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That could work. That right
would
there
work, but
would work.
But they're doing modern Batman, and it's fine. So I'm on a couple movie groups with people, and apparently Robert Pattinson is actually a very good actor.
Yes.
And the Twilight movies were just the Twilight movies.
Yes.
He was young.
He hated them too. He does admit that he hated those movies and hated acting in them.
So I mean, let's be honest. I mean, no one. I don't think many people gave a good accounting of themselves in those movies. That's what those movies were for.
Yes.
And I mean, you got to give him a chance. A lot of actors get better with age.
Correct.
Look at the Charming Potato, Channing Tatum. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna be terrible, terrible," and now he's actually good because he kept at it. He's gotten better, and he just delivers now.
Yeah.
So I mean, put that out of your mind. Give him a chance. It's DC, so no idea if it's gonna be good or bad because DC's sort of all over the place.
That's another point someone brought up, and it was like, you know what? I don't care what it is. It's a DC movie, and DC hasn't been able to do very well lately. Overall, I should say, not lately. Overall, they haven't done very well.
I haven't seen Shazam yet because even though I'm told it's not quite as YA as it looks super duper YA, and that doesn't really appeal to me. Aquaman was underwater Thor, and it was okay.
Yeah.
But people who are like, it was great, better than Wonder Woman.
No,
not
better than Wonder Woman.
No. It was enjoyable. It was fun. I do not upset that I own it on Blu-ray. My mom saw it with me. She liked it too. But it is not some exceptional piece of comic book thing. It was fine.
Yeah. It was good. It just wasn't great.
I mean, it was. Since we're doing this and spoiling it, I'll go into further detail in the minis and movies, but it's two space herpes.
What I don't want them to do with him is rehash everything again. We don't need.
You mean, we don't need to know that his parents were killed?
We don't need to know a whole origin story. I mean, you can do a decent origin story without having 75% of the show being an origin story.
Do origin story because, like Spider-Man, we know his fucking origin.
Yeah. You can do flashbacks to, help people remember. But, I mean, it doesn't have to be half of the movie.
Yeah.
There's enough media out there in this day and age. Anybody can just wiki the guy's freaking origin.
Yeah, unless you're going to do something interesting with their origin, and I suggest staying away from that with Batman. No one's... Yeah. Oh, get this. So, here's a conversation we had at work about this. They said, in some article, they said they were going to go more to his roots and be more detective Batman. And everyone's like, that's not Batman. What the hell are they doing? I'm like, as a matter of fact, that is Batman. Mm-hmm. Ninja Batman is not Batman.
You're right.
Batman is the world's greatest detective. He's basically a new Sherlock Holmes.
Yep. I just hope that they don't spend a good portion of the movie doing origin stuff. I hope they do some good character building. I hope that, they give him a good suit because we know how much of a suit, how bad, if a suit's bad, it can ruin.
Hashtag no nipples in the bat suit.
No nipples in the bat suit. And the villains are appropriate.
I want more Batman Begins. Batman Begins is my favorite recent Batman movie.
Yeah.
Give us stuff like that. Recent anymore. I hate to break it to you.
Most recent.
It's my favorite of the most recent ones. I mean, it came out this, century.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm hoping. I'm sure he's acting. He's gotten better. The pictures that someone showed of him in that little thing, he looked really good. I mean, it looked cool. Yeah. He had the structure, the face. He's not that big of a guy though, so I'm sure the suit's gonna help that out.
Well, let's be honest. Look at what happened to Chris Pratt when he got the superhero movie. He bulked up. So
correct.
We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got some time, and I guess there's not like 100% set in stone.
No, there's talking about some other people, but I wonder if they're just doing that to sort of get the people to lay off because there's already petitions, like the petition to change Game of Thrones and last season. Like, stop. It is the most self-entitled of self-entitled to try and get someone to change that. Stop. Just stop.
But I mean, I'm hopefully it's good. We need another good Batman series. We need a good Batman series bad because DC they've
No.
not done good.
So I'll be honest. With what DC's doing, we don't actually need a good Batman movie.
We need a
They're
good
not
DC
doing an
movie.
interconnected universe anymore. It doesn't fucking matter what quality the movies are.
Yeah.
Joker movie. I saw the trailer. I have no fucking give a shit about that movie.
Yeah, it's
It's not a
basically
movie that needs to be made, should not be made.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. Not even in the slightest.
I'm not too interested in that either. It's based off the Elsewhere Joker, and it doesn't even. I really don't care about Joker's background and why he is the way he is. I like the not knowing because I honestly don't want to feel sympathy for Joker.
No,
if that goes,
you shouldn't feel sympathy for Joker. He's absolutely insane and should not. You should not feel sympathy for him. I mean,
I don't want to feel sympathy for Joker
at all. You want someone to be sympathetic for? Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Batman the Animated Series made him a sympathetic villain, and that's good.
Yeah.
You can feel sympathy for Two-Face. He's had a bad time. There's some villains you can do that. The Joker's not one of them.
Yeah, Joker to me, you don't want to feel sympathy for.
And we don't need villain movies because you don't want people, idolizing that shit. I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be some good stuff in it. It might even be a great movie. I don't care. Why don't you make your own story? Don't try and shoehorn the Joker story in, because everything I saw, I'm like, that's not the Joker at all. It doesn't look like what his origin story should be.
Yeah.
But, I don't really care. So, I mean, I hope people... If you're going to enjoy it, enjoy it. I'm going to say that right now, Don't let the fact that we're not going to watch it, we don't care about it, stop you. If you're going to enjoy it, it's coming out, go see it, enjoy it, by all means. I mean, you guys might not know, but it's the 20th anniversary of The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a young lady on Twitter that I follow who loves Darth Maul, and she did the watching and all. I'm like, I don't like The Phantom Menace that much, but your excitement for it's made me want to see it again. Because I love that people are excited about movies like that. By all means, if you're excited about that movie, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's what... I think DC needs more to figure out what the hell they're doing. If you're just going to make one-off movies, do it. If you're going to make Interconnected Universe, do it. Just stick with something long enough to do it. Earn your shit. That'll be earning your shit will be a call forward to what's coming up shortly.
Okay, so I have a few movies I want to talk about before we get into the big one. I watched Night School. Night School is a Kevin Hart movie. It's what you expect from a Kevin Hart movie. Stupid comedy. It had a few laughs.
In the words of Morton Joe, mediocre!
Yes, pretty much. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I'd give it like our standard meh rating of 2.5 space harpies. It was okay. There were a few funny parts. Everything was predictable. You knew what was going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. If I was you, I'd skip it unless you're a big Kevin Hart fan.
You are. I mean, Kevin Hart's a funny guy. I'm not going to lie, but I'll wait for the Jumanji sequel.
Yes. Then I watched a new series on Netflix called Street Food. Now, I'm a huge foodie. I love food from all over the place. I will definitely spend a lot of money on good food. And I have no problem spending a lot of money on good food. No matter where it's like, oh yeah, this people have this and it's this one. I'm like, yeah, as long as it's good, yeah, I'll pay it. Street Food is a documentary on Netflix about street food around the world. They go to Japan, India, all over.
That sounds amazing.
It actually was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I mean, that's something I like a lot too. So I like hearing about different cultures. I like, especially food, because that's the one thing that, we all can agree on. Good food is good. And it changes a lot of things. But it was interesting to see all these different cultures and all their different food that they were showing. And I was like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. Oh, no, I will never try that. Which I would, because I'll try anything food-wise. But, I mean, it was pretty good. If you like good documentaries about food and culture and things around the world, I highly recommend it.
So
it was
I'm
really
just
good.
I'm looking at the episodes on Netflix. I just Googled it.
Uh-huh.
And just looking at it makes me hungry.
Oh, there was some stuff I was like, oh, I want that. Oh,
Yeah.
I want that. I want to try this. I want to try that.
Just like
I'm
Thailand,
not watching stuff on food unless I'm eating.
Yeah.
Or just
Japan, India, Indonesia, Taiwan, South Korea, Vietnam, Singapore. I'm just and I'm looking at the pictures of food
oh my
that
God.
they're serving, and I am
I have to interject. Even though I had barbecue in Nashville, that wasn't the best thing I had. Not even like the dry aged steak was the thing I had. The best thing I had was whipped feta. Holy, whipped feta with just a warm pita. Oh my god, that shit was so
that
good.
does sound good.
So good. Proceed.
But the also thing about street food is they talk about the people, how they grew up, what they did. And so, there's a lot of good cultural history stuff. Highly recommend it if you like foodie shows and you like good culture. 0 space herpes out of that one. I finally got to watch the movie Game Night, which is, I forgot his name now.
Sounds like a 4 space herpes kind of movie.
Actually, hold on. I can't remember. Jason Bateman, I think is what it is.
Yes.
And it was what I would expect it would be. A lighthearted, well, not lighthearted, but a comedy show. Jason Bateman makes some pretty decent, comedy stuff. That's his niche in the movie industry. It wasn't bad. If you got a little bit of free time, go watch it.
Fortunately, it wasn't bad. Also means it wasn't good.
Overall, it was pretty decent. Maybe like 2 space herpes. I wouldn't hit the meh because there were some scenes I was like, holy shit, that's funny. Spoilers, I don't care because this has been out. It's on HBO. I can give that now. He gets shot. Jason Bateman's character gets shot in the arm, and so they go to dig it out. But of course, they're not going to go to the hospital. So they, his wife decides to dig it out, and she's like, "Well, here, I got this for you to chew on," and it's a squeak toy, and to put in his mouth. And it was just
that's not kind of funny.
Him putting that squeak toy in his mouth and biting down on it as like she's cutting open his arm and like trying to dig. And she's like tapping on his arm. Goes, "Is that it? Is that it?" He goes, "No, that's my bone." And she's like tapping on his bone. And he's trying to squeak, the squeak toy's going off. And then of course it's, all the way through the arm. It's just, that was a great scene. They did have a cool effect in there that I thought was hilarious. Was they slammed people into glass tables. And nobody went through a glass table. And it was like a running gag. Damn, that's a strong glass table. Damn, that's a strong glass table.
Yeah, my aunt had a glass table. They ain't that strong.
Yeah. And it was just hilarious. It was just a good running joke. If you got about an hour and a half or so, just go watch it. It's pretty decent. My last one before we get two. I have 2 more. I finished the entire second season of Sabrina. First 2 episodes were kind of and then it started picking up, and I was like, damn. Oh, well, shit. Okay. Yeah, we went there. There was some pretty controversial stuff in this one. And how they pulled some people off and did some things. It still amazes me how they go, the way they twist all the words, because of course they're, Satanists and witches and all this other stuff. And instead of saying like, to hell with you, they're like to heaven to you. And so they, they flip all the terminology. But the last like 4 episodes easily were really good. And what they did and how they did stuff. I think we only have 1 more season left because I think it's only going to be 3 parts. So I'm looking forward to it. It was good. First half of the season was meh, but then it did pick up and it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. So overall, 2 space herpes. If you liked the first season, give the second season a little bit of time. And then the last one, before we get into our big spoiler review.
I got to talk about too.
So, you got 2? Okay, I'll give this one. It'll be quick and easy. I watched The Foreigner with Jackie Chan.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, it's not a bad movie, but it's not Jackie Chan in your normal sense.
No, it's Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah,
it's not a Jackie Chan movie.
Correct. Well, a lot of people are used to Jackie Chan movies.
Yes.
Jackie Chan kind of goes Liam Neeson in this one, which was a good, decent change for him.
From the Tooken?
Yes, from the Tooken. And it was pretty decent. There were some lines in there like, yeah, he's about to fuck you up. Yeah, he's gonna kick your ass. And it's not your Jackie Chan, super hardcore karate, like in his personal movies. But it was pretty good. Definitely a decent, type of flick. Definitely a good twist on Jackie Chan movie, per se, because it was a little bit more serious, a little bit more dark. If you like Jackie Chan, go watch it, because he's a great guy. He's an awesome person. Highly recommend it. Maybe like one Space Herpes, because it was kind of hard to get Jackie Chan out of his normal attitude and put him in this dark attitude, but it was good. Other than that, John, you have what, 2, and then we can go into our big spoiler?
I have 1, and then we're going to talk about the big spoiler.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have way more than 2, but like I said, I'm going to talk about 1, and that's John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Yes. Didn't get to see it this weekend.
I mean, fuck yeah.
So we're talking about Zero Space Herpes?
Yeah, obviously. It does not necessarily go the way you expect it to go. It's got some interesting points there. Halle Berry's in it for a bit. You've seen her. Mm-hmm. She's cool in it. Everyone they get is cool in it. I just want a scene where, there's some big contract on John Wick, and Assassin gets a text, sees John Wick, and goes, nah, ain't worth it. Because, spoiler, he kills some motherfuckers.
Not in the John Wick movie.
When does it become no longer worth to send men after John Wick? Because he's just going to kill them all.
Yeah.
That's what he does. The opening bit is super John Wickian, if you will. It's amusing as heck. Then it starts to go in a more different way, but it's got a good balance of action and story. Very enjoyable. Spoiler, this is not a trilogy.
Good.
There will be a 4th movie.
Well, they were mentioning that this was going to be the 3rd one, and the 3rd one was going to be the last one. But a lot of people said, no, this is not.
Rivals Rambo. Probably does rival Rambo. It's just got some good stuff. It's cool seeing him fight a higher quality of guys, because the thugs, he takes out thugs like they're no threat, because the average thug is no threat.
Yeah.
Mark Dacascos is in it. He's amusing as hell. He was a little weird. You might not like him in the movie because he's got a certain personality he's affecting for the movie, but I got what he was going for and enjoyed it. Lawrence Fishburne just fucking chews scenery, and it's great. He's just chewing it up. He is all in, and it's really amusing. I'm very much looking forward to the next one. It was great. It is worth watching. You should go see it.
All right. Here is our disclaimer. We are about to talk about Endgame and all the spoilers within it. This is not spoiler free. If you are listening and you have not watched it and you do not want to be spoiled, please turn off your listening device and go away. We have warned you. This is it. It is the embargo on spoilers is over now. So we are going to go
turn off. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Love you guys.
But
I'm John.
I'm
Gonzo. But for those who are staying,
here's our spoiler review of Avengers Endgame. Because we've been talking about, we thought we would do it, but I kind of made a decision like, let's do it tonight. Fuck it. It's the spoiler embargo is over, so people have just got to
over. People should see it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it by now, sorry.
The world's seen it.
Yeah. So, first things first.
That is America's ass.
Fuck yeah. Let's just kind of break it down a little bit by little bit before we get into the really good parts. The first half of the movie, the time machine, getting up to the time machine. We'll call that the first half.
Well, so the first act is the only things you see from the spoilers, which is great. They did an amazing job crafting the trailers from just the first act. Good job, good on you guys. Hats off. And I like that, and then the fallout of that. You're killing up to killing Thanos, and then the fallout of that is great. And then pretty much short of the time Ant-Man shows up, becomes Act 2.
Correct. I thought it was a good build-up. You got the feel that all the problems were happening, and it wasn't like immediately right after the snap. It was some time after it.
Yeah, so people like complaining like neighborhoods wouldn't get that bad. I'm like, half the people in the world are gone, and it's not like evenly.
Yeah.
There are neighborhoods that are going to be just completely trash-ridden because you're not going to have enough garbage men.
Yeah. Could you imagine what happened if nobody picked up garbage for a month?
Yeah, I mean, people aren't just going to go around cleaning up because all these people are gone.
No.
I mean, that's A, traumatic, and B, it's just not going to happen. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to mention that the entire infrastructure and economy of every country in the world is tanked.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have anybody that they're paying to
and not
pick up the
equally
garbage.
because some countries may have been like, oh, we only lost 30% of our country. Another country lost like, maybe Russia lost 60%, and some other countries lost less. But it's not going to be even either. So there's a lot of crazy stuff happens. And I like the way they dealt with that. It was all good.
I thought that was really good for the first part of it. And then when Ant-Man shows up, it starts kicking into, what are we going to do to change this?
Yep.
This is one of the first times I've ever seen a time travel movie do time travel correctly.
Well, let's not say correctly. Let's say in this way.
In this way, because the biggest blunder of time travel movies is like, well, we're just going to go back in time and change what happened. You can't, because then you wouldn't know to do it in the future. That's like the biggest faux pas. Yeah, the biggest paradox of doing it.
We could do a whole episode on time travel theories, but let's not worry about that. But yeah, I like the way they did that.
Correct.
I love the scene. I did like the scene where they're talking about time travel movies, and Smart Hulk's like, that's not how it works.
You mean it's not like Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was good. Was just enough comic relief for the main Avengers group, I thought.
Yep.
With a couple of deadpans from like War Machine, who never gets enough screen time. I love me some Don Cheadle as War Machine.
Yep.
But I like that they got in there. I like that they didn't have to put Captain Marvel in it because she's not an Avenger.
Yep. You don't see a lot of her though, but you see it just enough.
I mean, she's badass and she was cool when she was there. I love me some Captain Marvel, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's great that leading up there. It's both the plot of the movie and a loving homage to all the movies that came before it.
Correct.
It is. I mean, I hate to throw around the phrase "perfect movie," but it is pretty much a perfect movie.
Yeah.
I have a ton of tiny nitpicks, but they are so tiny that I don't even register them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to wrap up all these other movies with this one, this is your series finale.
Yeah.
Not like Game of Thrones is doing.
They hit a home run.
Yeah.
Boom. Out of the park.
The time travel part where they all go back in time and do everything, it was still good storytelling. It wasn't just, we're just going to walk over there and get rid of stuff. Oh, okay, I'll go get that stone. That was no problem. No, they built character out of those people. The scene with Thor, depressed-ridden, fat man Thor.
It is not fat shaming. It is literally a thing that happens to people.
Yes.
And the fact that they didn't just wave their hands at the end and make it right. I was worried his mom or getting Mjolnir was going to make it right, and it did not.
No.
I was happy that it's a consequence he's going to live with.
Yes. I mean, because he even tried to go back in time to fix that. And his mom was like, no, you can't change the past. You're going to have to. And when he called for the hammer and he says, I'm still worthy, there's quite a few memes going around about it. Depression doesn't make you any less worthy. And that really hit home a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That scene right there was an amazingly good scene.
Yep. And then the best of those scenes from that, and the one that just shines a light on a scene I didn't like from Infinity War, because this one's actually earned, is Hawkeye and Black Widow for the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
It just shows how much they're like, we got to make this work for this movie, and they just made it work. It doesn't fit, and it looks even worse when you compare it to Endgame.
Yeah. Because the thing is I know a lot of people complain that it was her that went down. They both would have gone down if they could have.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing also, and apparently originally Hawkeye was supposed to be the one to die, and then one of the directors was like, reading through the script that, she's taken on the mantle of all of this. It's become her life. Don't take this away from her character. Mm-hmm. Because remember, in Age of Ultron, she thought she was a monster because, she just became a killing machine. She gave up part of her humanity to become a killing machine.
Yes.
This is her redemption, her final redemption. And you can't take that from her. It was a great scene.
Yeah. I thought it was great. It was sad. And you could see them both struggling with it. And eventually she's just like, you got to let me go. And you're just like, damn.
Yep. I love that. I love that scene. But my two favorite scenes happen in the third act.
Yes.
The first one is where Cap gets Mjolnir
Um,
and wields it, and is like, I'm like, fuck yes.
I actually out loud. Okay, so we'll go on the third part, which is the oh shit part, is what I like to call it.
Yes.
This was my childhood exploding all over the place.
Yes.
I was like a 8-year-old kid reading a comic book for the first time, going, "Holy fuck!" And literally, when Captain America got the hammer, I said, "Fuck yeah," really loud in the theater. And I had a bunch of 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids around me, and I didn't even apologize or nothing, because
that's what that phrase is meant for.
Yeah.
Scenes like that.
yeah. I mean, I had chills, I had goosebumps, I was, wiggling in my seat. I was like, yeah, fuck him up. I was just like,
I
kick
knew
his
it.
ass. That right there, that one scene,
It is amazing.
it's all the culmination of what everything came down to. You knew Captain America was worthy. We all knew it. We also knew he did it in the comic. But to see it and let him have his shining moment, per se,
Yep.
with it, they did it so awesome. I can't wait to get the Blu-ray and just watch the movie again, and especially for that scene. I'm going to feel sad because I'm never going to have that exact same feeling.
I've already seen it twice. It's almost as good the second time. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it in my own house. I just
I
can't
need
wait
to see
for
it
it.
a second time, and
Oh, yeah.
possibly a third time.
I don't think I'll get a third because I don't think Mom wants to see it. It's a little much for her. But I'll see it a third on video, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great moment. I love how Cap in this scene, since they did it earlier, he did the "I can do this all day" without having to say "I can do this all day."
Oh yeah.
And then my other favorite scene is Avengers Assemble with
Yes.
everyone,
Yes.
including Howard the Duck.
Which I thought was amazing. Howard the Duck with the Tommy gun.
mean, this is the crossover we all wanted for Marvel when they did it.
Yes.
It was amazing. And so, I mean, I've got no faults with that fight. I don't even care. People forget that Thanos is a badass. Like, yes, for a little bit, I'm like, man, shouldn't Iron Man, Cap, and Thor beat the crap? I'm like,
No.
Thanos is a badass.
Yes.
He was sort of toying with people before, and they're all beat up and blown up, so they're not at their A game. So this is fine.
Yeah. Thanos
you
is
know-
a lot more powerful than people give him credit for.
Cap standing there with the whole army bearing down on just him. He's not giving up. He's just tightening the shield and just like, let's go.
Bring it on, bitches.
Yep. But then everyone else shows up. I do want to address something in sort of my normal manner. There is a scene where Captain Marvel, I mean, comes down, destroys his spaceship, which is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then has a funny scene with Spider-Man. She takes the gauntlet. She's going to deliver it so they can get it out of there. And all the other female superheroes get there and, help her out. And I have people on the internet saying, that was such a forced scene, wah, 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 wah. Like, go fuck yourself. We have had male superhero team up so many times. Let them have this. It'll never happen again.
Yeah. I mean,
It does not hurt the movie at all.
No.
It's fucking fine.
You know that the reason why they did it is because they wanted to have all the female superheroes there.
Yes.
And they wanted to have their moment. Who cares? It
Yeah,
was
they
a cool-ass scene.
The movie's been kind of female light because there's only one female Avenger left, really. I mean, you get Nebula, but she's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But let's say Nebula and Black Widow, a bunch of guys, and one of them dies, the other one gets captured. You needed to do some more. They need to look, we're guy heavy. We know this. Let's do something.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great scene. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. As soon as I saw
Fan
that,
service? Sure, it's fan service. Who fucking
Yeah.
cares? Not this movie's fan service.
yeah, you knew that was going to happen. And I knew people were going to bitch about it. I was like, I don't care.
I saw it.
I
I'm
liked
like,
it.
oh, mouth breathers.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
It's a great scene. That's all great. It's
Yeah.
so good.
so let's go to the last act.
I mean, we're in the last act. We're firm.
No. We're talking about the point where we had grown men sobbing like babies.
I don't know what you're talking about. Someone came by, was cutting onions right behind me. It was tragic.
No, I'll freely admit, I bawled like a little girl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bawled because it was. People don't understand because they were like, "You cried during that?" It says, "Yeah," because
At least twice.
yeah, There,
3 times. It was 3 times.
yeah,
Because it's Black Widow, I Am Iron Man, and then the funeral.
yes. Whenever
The
he
cheeseburger scene, fucking Christ. Like, come on. I was almost good again. You can't do that again.
when he stands there and he has a glove on and he goes and he does the scene of I Am Iron Man, I was like, fuck yeah, he is. And he snaps and I went, you motherfuckers. Good play.
Yeah.
That right there, because someone brought up a meme for it, a spoiler meme where Tony Stark says the best thing that came out of you was in a test tube, and to Captain America, and then of course he gets the hammer, and then when Captain America says you're not the guy to make the sacrificial play to Tony Stark, that right there, it's like, yeah, he is. They all are.
Well, you knew he was going to, because, I mean,
Yeah.
he had his daughter to look at, and, she loves him 3,000.
Yeah, 11,3000. But when he did that, I was like, good play. Good one. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna weep up. But whenever Spider-Man jumps in, and when Pepper jumps in, and they talk to him, and when Pepper says it's okay, you can go, I was like, you killed me, guys.
Yep.
That right there, I was like, holy shit.
And unlike I have this complaint about the Infinity War, the Spider-Man scene, which is when he's fading away, is purely there to gut punch you.
Yes.
But the movie had lost me enough that it had no emotional impact on me. Because it didn't feel as earned. This was fucking earned 100%.
Yeah.
So, that, and then, it was mostly good to the funeral until the cheeseburger scene.
Which you told me about, because I had someone else ask me, because the funeral scene is about, all those different, and then there was that one person who was like, who is that person?
Yeah, standing by himself. It's the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah. And it goes to show that these movies have gone for a long time.
Yep.
This isn't, 3 years worth of movies like our Star Wars trilogy.
It's 11 years worth of movies.
Yeah. 11 years worth of characters.
Iron Man 3 was a long time ago.
Yes.
And still underrated.
What I find interesting about this whole thing is people are like, okay, we won't see any more Iron Man. Okay, yep. And the way they ended Captain America, we're not going to see Captain America anymore. Those guys are done. They're done. I think that was great of them, like him giving the shield to, what's his name? To Sam. I thought that was great. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Does that mean we're never going to have an Avengers movie? No. But does that mean it'll be a different?
Yes. I'm down.
Yeah. I'm down to see Sam as Captain America. I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah. Because he's sort of the same guy where he's willing just to do the right thing.
Yep.
That's what he did. He had a life. He was good, but then Captain America needs help. He volunteered. Like, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
So he was the right guy. That's why Bucky didn't get it, because Bucky's not the right guy for it anymore. Maybe at one point they thought he would be, but the way the stories went, he wasn't the right guy.
Yeah. I think it wrapped up very nicely. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that there was not an official second scene. Or stinger is what they call it.
Oh, just the
sound effect.
Hammer on the anvil, yeah.
Yep. I
suit.
did like that they did take the Guardians of the Galaxy and show a little snippet with them. With him.
It was much more interesting there than in Infinity War. It's just funny. Everything I had a problem with Infinity War is done way better in this, which is great.
They fixed it.
Well, they fixed it. It was all of it was way better. With the exception of Rocket. Rocket was great in Infinity War. He's great in this. Rocket is having a great arc, and James Gunn's come out and said, and Guardians 3 is going to finish his sort of character arc, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, and also
he's had so much fucking growth.
Yeah, and they said that Thor will be in the next Guardian movie, I guess.
Yep. Chris Hemsworth is willing to. Well, they found what to use Chris Hemsworth for now. Yeah. He had the right look for Thor, but making him just be serious all the time is ignoring the fact that he has good comedic chops.
Oh, yeah. It does. I did think it was interesting of them. He was still looking for Gamora, doing the search for her, and they kind of like, oh, you didn't see me click that, I'm not looking for her type thing.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to bring her back. I think they're just leaving it open for whatever James Gunn wants.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they don't. They don't
I
need
hope
to.
they don't. I don't think they need to.
He needs to move on and actually have. It says he needs to move on, become an actual adult, and have a real adult relationship. Because I don't think he and Gamora had a real relationship. Is that first actual love kind of thing? Like, yeah, sure they had something, but it wasn't built on the right things.
Yeah. For me, since we are coming down to the end of the show, zero space herpes. There is no doubt about that.
Come on.
I can't wait to have the DVD Blu-ray copy in my house, because as soon as it comes out, I'm putting it in and I'm shutting everything off and I'm enjoying the ride again.
Twice in a weekend, like I did with Dune when I finally got my Blu-ray of that.
Yes, I will probably watch it a couple of times.
I mean, I did see it twice in a week. I saw it Friday and Monday.
Yeah, but I want to watch it in my theater. So for me, Endgame,
I'll be honest, a 3-hour movie is so much better at home because you're like, you know what? I'm going to stop it, do some stuff, and come back for the next act. There's plenty of good stopping points. You can bite.
At the very least, pause to go to the bathroom.
Hey, I've got 2 made through Avengers Endgames without peeing badges.
Yeah, I got those bad. But, John, we know it's a 0. Kathy, are you a 0?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all a 0 on this one, guys.
It's a perfect movie. They asked my coworkers asked me at dinner one night, people I was working with, what's your favorite movie? And I said, before this month, I would have said Empire Strikes Back without hesitation. But now, I don't know.
It's of course,
they're in a drag out fight for my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's in the top 5. Guys, we thank you so much, and I'm glad that Webby76 says on that note, good night, because he left before you did.
Hopefully after you see it, Webby, you can listen to this. I mean, you're not listening right now, but hopefully you saw it and came back and listened to this.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. Really, it is very, very cool to hear people say, hey, I listened to your episode last night. I agree, or I disagree with what you said. If there is something you want us to review, watch, read, talk about, let us know. We are always open for that. We want to have as much fun as you do. We are glad you joined us for this.
Absolutely.
For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Take care of yourself, people.
Bye.
Dance music.
The dance music is happening outside. There's a stadium like 15 minutes away, and oh my god, it was so loud. They were having some kind of concert or festival or something.
Huh? You didn't go?
By the way, I got America's ass on the top of my cup because we bought one of the cups and we got America's ass all the time. Every time.
Have you seen that meme going around Twitter where it's Chris Evans from None Other Team movie walks up? It's a picture of Captain America lying down with the ass and he shakes his head and walks out. Like, that's a good meme.